All right, now we want to start the cutting. Please, I want you to know that the cutting also is very important as much as the drafting is important. Imagine we draft a very nice suit, we just cut anyhow, automatically we've spoiled the good work we've drafted. So please, it's very important to watch the cutting as well. So I didn't say this in the video, we add our allowance, sewing allowance on just this back point. Every other point has a sewing allowance already. Just this back point is carrying a sewing allowance. So from this top point, the sewing allowance is just 0.5. So please, anything you mark as a sewing allowance, that is what you are going to sew. If you are leaving 0.4, that is what you are going to sew. Please, let me remind you, suit is not like blouse that you can easily amend. So there's no point leaving 1 inches, the way you used to see 1 inches on your blouse. You can't amend suit like blouse. Are we good? Yes, you can't amend suit like blouse, because I've seen a lot of people asking, suit Lord, why should I leave 0.2? What about if the suit is tight? Can't I leave 1 inches, 2 inches as your oga? Suit is not like blouse, is not like your native that you can easily amend. In fact, amending a suit, I will prefer to sew 3 new suits for you than amending 1 suit for you. Honestly, amending a suit is not easy, especially if you're not the one that even sew the suit. That one had pass. So let's get to business. So we are going to trim off our length first. Okay. Now the next thing is we are going to trim off our lapel. Now please watch very well. The cutting is very important. Then we get our cuff. Then we get our armhole cuff. Then our shoulder slants. We get our neck. Then the neck shape, which is now the back shape. Now we get this back shape. Now please, I want you to pay attention to this hip shape now. Now this is it. Then this 0.2 on this point is going out. Then the next thing, All right, the next thing is you notch your arm line. You notch it just a little. You notch the arm line a little. All right, so once you notch the arm line, the next thing is this your half inches button line. You are going to mark it to be obvious, so you know that okay, this is my folding allowance when I want to get my lapel. Yes, when you're getting your lapel. Okay, so this is the front. So we want to cut the ST now. 1.5 yards make one suit. Yes, one suit. All right, so this is a good face of the part that gums. Then this other part doesn't gum. So you keep it savage to savage. So we are going to start with the main front. We are going to cut the main front first. The main body, we are going to cut it full. You cut the main body full. Now the next thing is your interface. You're also going to cut it full. Alright, so now we are going to trim this part. All right. Alright, so you're going to trim exact. Alright, so we are going to fold. Then you roll it up. If you've noticed, we cut exact without adding any allowance. Yes, that is how you cut your ST, your back. Now this shape is going to bring out for the back. So you place the back. Now the back is basically the up point and the sleeve region. Alright, this is how it's going to look like. Then you fold. Alright, so after doing that, the next thing you need is a straight 2 inches ST. I'm sorry, 2.5 ST, a straight 2.5 ST. Alright, this one should be enough for us. Now the next thing we are going to cut is we double the chest ST. Yes, the chest ST is usually doubled, so you place the ST again, then you cut. Now, where's your lapel? You check your lapel folding, you fold your lapel. Now, remember the marking is still there. So you fold your lapel. So the ST is not going to touch the lapel. Basically, it's just for the chest region. Alright, so once we've done that, we are good. Now at this point, we can gum our suit. So let's clear the table, then we move to gumming. Alright, so at this point now, we want to gum it. So we sprinkle water, then you gum this together. So I'm gumming the two together, the two front panel. Alright, so the next thing is the interface. So you always make sure that you remove all the pieces, make sure there's no pieces when you want to gum your interface. Okay, just like what we have here. I'm trying to see if there is no stain, so we can remove all the stain. So you've noticed I'm gumming the two together. Alright, so you sprinkle water. So I'll gum the other parts on my own. So the way I gum these two, that is the same way you're going to gum the sleeve and also the back. Alright, so I'll give you updates. After gumming the top part, we cut a stay of 2.5 inches. Now we are going to gum it to this down part. Now when you want to gum it, you make sure it's not touching the down part. You leave like half inches and you sprinkle water. Then you do the same thing to the other side. This is the sleeve. Then you sprinkle water. Now we folded, we notch 0.2 inches. Now you are going to fold the 2 inches. You're going to fold. Then use your puller to calm it down. Alright, so on the big sleeve you do the same thing, then you fold it down. Alright, then we are going to trim. Now after folding, you notice there's an excess. You trim off the excess. You trim off the excess. Do it to trim the excess. Then you trim the excess lining and excess ST. Yes, so you trim the excess ST. Make sure the ST is exact. Alright, now this is the back point. We are going to apply ST to the back point. You make sure there is half inches, it's not touching the down part as well. Then you make sure it exceeds the vent a little. Then you fold your 2 inches. Okay, we didn't trim on this one, so you can just keep them together and you notch 2 inches. You notch 2 inches. Same thing, you notch 2 inches. Then you can now fold. Do the same thing to the other side. And you sprinkle water. then you fold the 2 inches. Alright, now then you trim the excess. Then this part that is having the chalk marking, you fold it with 0.4, then you fold it straight. Alright, so at this point now, let me quickly trim this and come back. Welcome back to our online class. So on this edition, we will be cutting and gumming our waist pocket. For a female suit, there's no point putting a chest pocket. Alright. Pocket is going to be this 8.5, so we just cut it on 8.5. However, there's going to be, you don't cut the width of the pocket exact, 8.5 as well. Are you sure I didn't do mistake? I think this should be the length, then 8.5, then this is the width, 3.5 inches. Now this other one is for the pocket cover, which is the flap. So the flap is going to be longer, is more wider. So what we have here is like 5.5. However, we are still going to trim it later. So that is all for now. Then you make sure you dust your table. Alright, so we want to put stay on the cover. So the pocket cover is stay. We are going to apply. So you cut exact. Alright, why for the pocket himself is going to be gum stain. So you get the gum stain. So the width of the gum stain is 4 inches. So that means it's going to be 2 inches on both sides. Now you make sure you gum this. Make sure the iron is hot so you can gum it very well. So after the gumming, you are going to trim exact. Hey God, the iron might repair. Don't scatter again. I'll check irons then. Alright, so the next thing now, you are going to fold this. What I do is I usually fold it wide, then I'm going to trim it to 0.3. I usually trim and fold it as high as 0.5. Then I will now use scissors to trim it to what I want. Alright, good day people. So at this point now we want to cut the lining. We have different type of lining. We have a plain lining, we have also a designing lining. I don't know the name they call it over there, but yeah, we call it punch lining or suit lining. So we are working without lining. So first and first, this is the good face, this is the bad face, so you keep savage to savage. We are going to start with our interface. Now you make sure this savage doesn't show, so you are going to lap it very well to the point where the savage does not show inside your whatever. So after the placement, you place the main suit body on it. Now placing the main suit, then you get your side piece and you add your side piece to it. Okay, so once that is done, the next thing is you cut from the side, adding 0.5 downward. You bring your tape and you measure 2 inches. Now just take that 2 inches upward, like what I just did now. Okay, so once you've done that, we are going to take this off now. Then you fold it. Now the next thing we are going to do is you are going to mark this point. You mark this point. You now shift it back with just sewing allowance. You now trim, adding just your sewing allowance. Okay, so at this point now you are going to mark the down part this way, so it will up indicate where you are going to join to the down part. So where you mark is going to be the down part joining. Alright, so after that you are going to fold them together. We are done with the interface. The next thing is the back point. So this part you are cutting the back. Remember, the back is 1 vent suit. This is a female suit. Way. Now after placing it on top, you are going to make sure you mark at this down point. You are going to unfold this, then you trim exact. Now you place your tape at the top point. Make sure you have 2 inches at the top point. Then you try to cut this part exact. The down part is not equal. Yeah, so you make sure you cut this part exact. Now this up part, remembered we add 2 inches to the other one. We are going to also add the same 2 inches to this. So that 2 inches, you bring it up. Alright, now the next thing we are going to do is you try to trace your waistline. This is my waistline. You mark it. Alright, so you take 4 inches above your waistline. On this down part, you are going to mark 1.5 inches. So you connect the 1.5 inches to your 4 inch above your waistline. You try to connect them together. Then you trim just the upper part, not the two of them. You're going to trim just the upper part. Alright, so you trim it off. Just try to blend it so it will not look too sharp. And then you mark again so you know the joining point. Alright, so that is that for the back one vent lining cutting. Then you fold it. Now the next thing is the big sleeve and the small sleeve. So you still place them. Make sure you arrange your lining very well. Make sure you arrange it. Then you place. Okay, so you place the sleeve now. Now the sleeve, you can just decide to use one part of it instead of using the two. The same thing with the small sleeve. Now we are going to trim, but we are not cutting exact. We are adding slightly 0.1, but the down part we are adding 0.2. The down part 0.2, but every other part is slightly 0.1 inches. So let's go. Zero point 0.2. I say you just add slightly 0.1 instead of cutting exact. Is lining for the pocket and the cover. So remember the pocket was cut at 8 inches, so the lining is going to be probably bigger than what we have for the pocket. So let's use 8.5. This is fine already. Okay, so basically that is it. So let's move to the machine and start our sewing.